So again, where we left off, we did the recesses here using angles coming from the vanishing points when we're on a specific side of the first vertical line, which is this guy right here, this vertical line here. We're gonna do some stuff now to just kind of finish off our neighborhood. So we're gonna use this time today to do that. I'm gonna darken some lines here. So we're gonna go through and put the details into our neighborhood, okay? All right. So using the same guidelines for the top of these windows and doors, I'm going to use this now as a reference for the doors and windows of some of the buildings on this side, my two other buildings here. I'm going to create a door right here, just a simple door using two vertical lines. I have another door, and it's going to be proportional because I'm using the same guideline. Ooh, the same guide. Oh my goodness, what happened here? Goodness gracious. And this is what happens when you don't hold down on that ruler. It shifts. Okay. So maybe this is another small little shop using the same guidelines for top and bottom. This is actually the same line we used for the bottom of this window. I'm going to use it for this window here. Another little mom and pop store, which are becoming rarer now during plague times. Unfortunately, Jeff Bezos is making a killing right now. So I have a door, I have a window. We're gonna recess it a little bit. So I'm gonna go, I need this angle like we did before, this angle here, this angle here. It is coming from the left-hand vanishing point. So I'm gonna go over to the left-hand vanishing point, line it up with my ruler, line it up with the corner that I wanna use, draw a line. That's my little recess right there. Vertical line. And then to finish it off, I'm gonna use that angle coming from the right-hand vanishing point, line it up, and then, oops, I need a little space for my pencil. So there's my recess for the window there. Same thing here, I'm gonna do a line coming from the left-hand vanishing point to create the recess for my store door. There's my recess. Going straight up. And then coming back to the right-hand vanishing point. Just like that. Okay. I also want to put a little bit of detail into like the finish of some of these buildings. So I'm going to add some like exterior like molding maybe on the bottom here. Extra little details. And then darken these lines. Maybe these will be individual tiles. I'll do the other side too as well, just make sure that my lines bisect. So it looks proportional, not Wonka. And then maybe I'll figure out, maybe individual tiles here. I'm just eyeballing it, again, not measuring. Making sure my verticals are straight up and down. These are just extra little details that you can put into your buildings to make them look more realistic. Sometimes they say success is in the details, right? And maybe we'll make a frame for the doorway. Right. Line this up with the vanishing point. Make sure we're straight up and down. And just like so, frame it around the doorway. Right? We'll put a sign over here on this little shop. Maybe we'll make this a, I don't know, a key maker or something. Yeah, maybe this will be, we'll just call this a key shop, like keys. Tiny little locksmith place, right? Come back over here to my donut shop and thicken up the lines. All right. Maybe we'll reference that for the doorway, for the little push bar for the door, right? All these references will help me to create consistency in what I'm doing, right? So all I'm doing is I'm mimicking those little elements to help me make it proportional. And then, okay. All the little details, guys. I'm going to go over to this next building on the left-hand side. I'm going to use the same guidelines here for the top over doorway. And then the bottom line here for another door. Top and bottom of the door. Because it would look really weird if I made a door like much smaller. All doors are kind of standard with their openings. Right. And then we'll use the same line we used for the bottom of this window over here. Right. For another small store window, mom and pop store. Just like so. Okay. Get a sharper pencil. Come over to the side. It's getting a little small for me to do some of these details, but I'm gonna still try to do a recessed doorway and window. And as I get smaller and smaller, it becomes less important because those details are gonna get lost. And then over here on the left, so who thinks it's okay to listen to Christmas music right now? Who thinks it's okay to listen to Christmas music right now? Who thinks? I mean, I don't know. You psycho people who listen to Christmas music this early in the season. easy, people. Okay, I'm gonna put a doorknob right here for this door. Maybe another doorknob over here. All right, making details, making details. On the donut shop, I'm gonna put some flashing because it's a flat roof. I'm gonna put some flashing up here. Flashing means that, you know, to waterproof it basically, so that it's like usually aluminum or a copper thing that prevents rain from going into the structure. I'm gonna do a double line here to thicken it up. There you go. Just basic details. And because we're right here, we're gonna put a countertop on this side. Put a countertop. Okay, and how to show that, we're gonna draw 2 lines coming from the left, and then to do the angles for the table, we're gonna go to the right. And I have it kind of wrap around and go all the way to the other side of the window. And then we'll make it a little bit thicker. I'm gonna create, so there's 3 lines all the way there. 1, 2, 3 coming from the left. And then we're gonna thicken this up, adding a line to give that illusion as if it's coming down. Okay? And now I'm gonna, just so you guys can see it, I'm gonna erase this line here. Right? Now you have a countertop, we'll draw some legs. It's coming down. A leg right here. And a leg if it was actually at this. Or it'd be like right there. Boom, a table. Shade those so you can see. Boom. You guys see that? Actually, this will probably go all the way down. You wouldn't see the bottom. Okay. Have our giant donut display. There we go. Now, let's figure some stuff out over here. We're gonna make this like an apartment building almost. Like a store on the bottom and then windows on the top here. And again, we've been having some issues with Zoom today, technical stuff. I don't know what's going on per se, but our tech guys are saying that there's some issues. So I'm gonna make some windows over here with a little bit of space between. I might give a little bit more headroom between those two. Yeah. So you got 1, 2, 3 banks of windows. And I'm just making kind of a grid. Window, window. So 3 windows here on the bottom. Now you don't want to stack them up on top of each other because you want to give like there's space for people's in their head. So we're gonna go up a little bit higher. Say like right here, between the stories. Right. So you look at a building, they're not stacked on top of each other. That would be weird. Because you gotta account for, you know, floors, like at least 9 to 10 feet between the floors. So again, if you miss some of this stuff, you can watch it on my YouTube channel. It's available for you guys. So I'm gonna go over to the right-hand side. I'm gonna put a door, again, on the same level pretty much as the other ones. I'm gonna put a door in the middle. Just like so. Some windows on either side of the door. Again, a multi-use kind of space where you have shops on the bottom and apartments up top. Use this same line here to create a grid for windows that line up with these windows. The bottom here. And I'll erase the lines accordingly. And I'm gonna start probably right around here. These are guidelines still. And then I'm just gonna eyeball one, and then some space between there. Two, space. Three, space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So then we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 banks of windows. And I'll come over here, slice this, and then we'll have another bank of windows up here. 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is space between the floors. All right. Cut it off right there. I'm gonna do it right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So one window, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this stuff, these will be erased. Alright? And just like that over here on the left, I forgot to erase that so you guys can see it. Apologies. So we have a mixed-use neighborhood, kind of on trend right now with developers doing mixed-use spaces. Beautiful. Apartment buildings next to a gun shop and a locksmith. Makes sense, right? Makes sense. Let me darken these bad boys. Straighten out my letters. Yes. Jeez. Okay. So we got kind of a neighborhood. We're kind of building a neighborhood, right? Maybe over here what we'll do is maybe there's a park over here and we have some trees, right? So maybe we put like some trees over here. There's a park. Again, creating the illusion that there's more going on in this section of town than just buildings of concrete. So I'm making some pine trees, maybe some oak trees over here. I'm just gonna shade those in, right? So if we have a park over here. Cute, right? Da-da-da. Maybe this over here on the back, this last building, still on the same level. as the doors for our other buildings. Maybe this is a garage. Maybe we have a garage. I'll make a big garage door there. And rather than doing the individual lines, I'm just going to shade that so it looks like a solid door. And then a little door right next to it. And I'll shade that in. All right. We can totally add some shading here between the alleyways. We can also add, say for instance, going back to this right vanishing point, say maybe right here. This is a street now. We have a dividing line. I'm gonna go over here. Same thing. Keeping in mind, like, this is gonna be now like an area where you have traffic going by. Now, I'm erasing parts of this line here, and just like with the seams of the sidewalk, I have to come over here to this vanishing point to create those angles to finish off the dashes in the street or on that traffic divider or lane divider. So that, go over here. Again, go to that vanishing point. Yeah, Sam, I'll make that correction. I marked there because you were late. Don't worry, it's not gonna affect your permanent record, I promise. But, you know, I always can count on you to come a little bit late, bro. I ain't mad at you. It's nothing personal. Ain't nothing personal, brother. But, you know, click on your Zoom a little bit before 10:15, and then you won't get marked late or absent. All right, brother. Cool. We cool? We cool? It's all good, man. Okay, so we have, those are our dashes now, and because it's so far away, I'm not gonna bother. And this is how you create, you know, distance. How you create the illusion of distance. And my drawing's getting a lot of smudgies from my ruler, but that's okay. Okay. Boom. And push that a little bit further down so there's more space. Okay. There we go. Working on my neighborhood. Maybe I'll add a little light pole right here. Right? And figure out how that's gonna be, because that's gonna be where I put more things. And maybe instead what I'll do is I'll make a power line just so you guys can see how that is. So I make a vertical line here. I'm gonna do 1, 2 lines. I'm gonna show these as kind of like a power line coming. Just as an example, I'm not going to finish it out of what you can do. So notice I'm kind of going both sides. Vertical lines. And then for instance, I'm going to go off this height right here. I want a little bit higher, so I'm gonna go up here and make another one way down here. Right? and maybe this will just connect down to here and stop. Yeah. So right now we have power lines. I'm going to shade the pole, the power pole here. Maybe it's phone lines, who knows. Got another one down here. I'll come and create those angles. 1, 2. And we'll just make some little knobs up here. Right? And connect them. Right? Power lines, and then we'll just have them kind of go to these buildings. Like, just imagine that they're going to a little terminal right here, right? And maybe a little terminal up here for their power or data, right? Who knows? Over here and over here. Okay. Maybe there's more going off in the distance, kind of thing. That kind of stuff is what makes things look realistic. So we'll just do a little sagginess here, a little bit of sagginess. Okay, but I digress. Whew. It's almost 11 o'clock. And so these are the kind of details that will make your neighborhood look much more realistic. Let's go in real fast before we end. Do a little shading. In the alleyways between the buildings. All right. Also, we should be erasing guidelines, but I'm keeping these guidelines here so you guys can see where all this information is originating from. Just going to help you in your practice. Okay. A little bit of shading on the curb, outer sidewalk. Maybe a little shading here in front of the store. Right. Okay.